Hello friends, it's Tanya back with another speed build. Today I'm showing you how I make this massive ice castle using all of these frozen items, and this is for the White Witch on my Narnia island, but you can take a lot of the techniques and adapt it for any kind of castle you want to build for your island. I do hope you enjoy this video. If you do like this video, comment down below and hit the subscribe button because I've got tons more speed builds and other island tours and things like that on my channel. And with that, let's get on with the build. All right, so here's the space I was working with. Earlier on, I just did a quick one level cliff all behind the house, and that was just to gauge the space that I had and to decide whether or not I needed to move it. I do end up regretting not moving it one slot up closer to the rest of the island, but anyways, it is what it is. Here I'm building the second level cliff, and I just did one single row all along and then a little square at the end so I could fit my frozen tree. If you had more space, I would do 2 rows along, and then you can fit things like lighthouses and stuff like that, which is cool. Right, so with that terraforming done, time to place the items. Now, my first thing was this frozen tree. It just helps give some height and also that frozen feeling. Then a wedding pipe organ flipped behind, so you see the really cool paneling behind it. I have a frozen pillar here and popped a Nova light on top. And next I placed a frozen frozen arch, and then another pillar next to that. So I love the pillars and how you can place items on top. I think it looks super cool and just adds to the height behind these houses. Placed another wedding organ behind, and then a tree. So on the next level, I placed a different wedding pipe organ, but this time I had it facing the front so that you could see some of the dark lines in front of it. And then I have another one here. I was just trying to decide whether or not I liked it this way. I do end up flipping it round, but anyways. Right then I put the partition and some simple panels with a really cool castle looking design that's really white and fits with the theme. Place a little sculpture of this bear. And here you'll see I've gone back and removed that wedding pipe organ, flipping it back around. I think it's nicer for my design to just have a bit of that black organ kind of lines showing up, but not too many. So, right, placing everything back and just using a mix of different frozen items so it's not too repetitive. And then down here, placing a ton of the panels. I alternated between the plain one and the version with windows, just to give it a bit of variation and make it seem like there are just, little areas to peek through from the castle. So with that, I think that's looking okay. And now to work on the other side. This whole build is pretty symmetrical in terms of the castle itself, and then on the ground, I'll be mixing it up a little bit more. So again, another pillar. I just dropped a large star fragment on top. You can do that, or the starlight. That's also a nice item that's smaller than the Nova light, or star clock. That's the term. Just so they're a little bit different. And then placing that organ. Here I'm plopping down the frozen partition again, and then try to think of a more sensible way to work with this organ and get it in place without too much pain. I think this way might have actually been more difficult in the end, but anyways, that's what I decided to do. So yeah, just tugging it into place and then shifting it all the way to the left. And there was that organ. Then I snuck in that frozen partition, placed these simple panels behind the organ and in front of the tree, just basically trying to cover up the cliffs. And then this frozen bear sculpture. I think it's my favorite frozen item. It just looks so realistic and fits for my theme so well. I know the White Witch petrifies creatures, like it turns them to stone, but I like the idea that she might freeze some of them as well. So again, with the simple panels, just alternating the windows and the blank design. These are by the same creator, and they make a ton of simple panel designs that look like houses, like fronts of houses with windows and stuff. So do check out the code if you're looking for a different kind of castle feel or house exterior feel. And that's that main castle structure. So next I'll be working on the ground level. I had a little break, came back the next morning, and it's bright and early. So I placed a ton of frozen pillars. I was trying to experiment with how it would look if it was completely full of pillars. You'll see I do change this up in the end, but it was useful to see if this was a viable option. I then also placed a ton of different items on top. I like the idea that they be all kind of different and unique. I love the scorpion lamp there at the top, curving around towards the house. It just kind of makes it seem like it's ready to sting, you know. I placed a star fragment and then placed this fossil, which looks like a skull, and then another nova light, and this throwback Gothic mirror turned to the side. I thought that could look like gargoyles. So yeah, I didn't love that. So I removed the middle pillars with the stars on it, and I think that looks a bit better, makes the pillars stand out. And then in between, I placed some of this iron and stone fencing. And then also placed some in front of the house. So then the next bit is just to repeat on the other side. So you'll see more of the process. One pillar, and then a little gap, and then another pillar, and so on. So again, placing this, I didn't have the lower back mirror. This ostroplith, I don't know how to say it. Anyways, this one I turned to the side because I just thought a little bit of mixing it up, not 100% symmetrical, could be nice. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people use the Gothic mirror in a really interesting way in castle builds. Like if you flip it all the way around, it can look like turrets, which is really cool. And there it is with the pillars. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks, just taking a peek at a higher level. I do wish that I didn't have this clip in front. I think you'd get a better view, but I had to have it because the White Witch's house is described as being down in a valley. So it just had to happen. And then trying to see what it looks like with extra pillars. I didn't love that there. End up placing one over here instead because I think it just makes the entrance look a bit more grand. But ended up putting it not directly in front because I think that looks a bit too flat. So yeah, angled it to the side and I'm happy with how that looks. And again, on the other side, doing the same deal. There we are. So with these big builds, I go back and forth with peeking on how it looks and then going back to the build like pretty quick and often because you just want to be checking on your work and seeing how it looks at a distance. Cleaning up these flowers up front and some weeds. Because the next thing is sorting out this courtyard. So I wanted to place a couple of trees around just to give it that kind of foresty feeling. I ended up switching out those osteopliths to these knights' helmets because, okay, this sounds morbid, but I thought it could look like she stuck some heads like on a stake. And some like creepy villains do that in films and stories. So I thought she seemed like the kind of person that would if Narnia wasn't written for children. So yeah, so I placed the helmet there and I think it actually works color tone wise better anyways. So yeah. And there just then I placed a couple of great statues facing towards the house. I think it looks like really cool warriors guarding the castle. And I love how the gold glints against the frosty castle exterior. And struggling with placing a tree, like the hole in the right spot, but there we are. Didn't actually mean to remove that partition. And just removing this extra bit of cliff that I used to get up and down. And then placed an extra pillar. I just wanted to add a little bit more dimension if you were to come to the side of the castle. And here is where I placed those fossils again. And I thought to turn them in just so, you know, it seems like they're looking at the castle. A bit sad and creepy. And another frozen bear here. And then, as you know, repeating on the other side. And there's the main structure. So then I played around with a couple of different ways to work on the ground. Initially, I planned to just make like a shapes with these custom designs and the in-game pathing. But in the end, I didn't really love how that worked out. So I do end up just paving the whole entire courtyard in the normal cobblestone in-game design, and then laying on top of that this dark black mossy brick. So you can see how it looks laid out on top of this stone, and I do like how that looks, but yeah, I didn't like it broken up. So I started out with just this corner, and then I do end up paving the rest of the whole area in this design. So over here, I wanted to create a little area that was for all the petrified, frozen, and kind of stone statues. I thought I would use some of the jail bars just to really evoke the idea that they are captured and imprisoned. I created a whole jail structure, which I do end up removing later on, but because it just looked a bit too separated and it blocked the view of the rest of the castle. So yeah, just this does not remain. But while I had it there, I started placing a couple of statues and frozen items and things like that. So I've got David here. He's so tall and so massive. I thought he'd be a very attractive giant. So giants aren't normally as svelte and ripped, but you know, maybe in Narnia, in my version of Narnia. And then place this bear here. I like mixing up the tones between the kind of stark white marbles and the icy items. Trying to figure out which way he should turn. Little warrior statue here. And also placed the robust statue. I like the different layers this creates, and they're of different heights, which is nice. And then just taking a look. So yeah, removed these jail bars, didn't love how that looked. Think it looks better and more open this way, but still a bit too closed off. So remove that final bar. Just kept one to evoke the feeling without really blocking stuff off. And then I came back and got a couple of zodiac items in Narnia. Also, like, it's not just humans that are frozen, it's also animals. Oh yeah, and the bear was there. So yeah, I thought these zodiac items would be quite appropriate. So I had a Capricorn ornament, and then here I'm placing the Taurus bathtub. having it so his horns are directed outwards. And then placing another beautiful statue. Try to find the right place to put it. I wanted to sneak it in a little bit more to kind of cover up the tail of the Capricorn ornament because it doesn't quite fit. Swapped out that warrior for the familiar statue. Thought it looked a little bit more tortured looking. And then plopped the warrior down here. I also wanted to place this cute little rocking chair, so this sweet innocent lamb is being kept here as well. So here is me another day. You'll see that I paved the majority of the ground. I didn't finish it all yet, but most of it is paved in the cobblestone and then this black brick on top. Then in this front entrance area, I've got these two Valiant statues kind of surrounding the walkway down, just to give it that grand entrance feeling. And it also the book also talks about like frozen animals and creatures being, winged animals and creatures being frozen and petrified as well. I was trying to see if I could fit a tree up here. It definitely could not, so that's that. And then I finished some more paving and came back and placed some more items. So I do like how this feels with more, with a darker ground. It's just a bit more realistic. It is described as a courtyard, so that fits there. Here I am working with the sleigh, so the White Witch's sleigh. She has these reindeers pulling her sleigh around, and then I wanted to place this little table with the frozen treats to signify Turkish delight. I ended up swapping out the sleigh for the frozen chair because I thought it looked more realistic as something she would sit on as the witch. And then just pop the sleigh in the corner just as a little nod to that. And then coming back up here, I popped some frozen pillars around with these fossils on top, just to add a little bit more of that frozen feeling to the entrance. Placed a Pisces lamp. And then, guys, I was filming for too long and I just had to take a break. So the rest of it is the same deal, really. I just kept placing more items and yeah, just here I am showing you the final result. So this is the entrance. I've got this motherly statue here, which is a reference to the wolf that serves the White Witch. Some black flowers, some of these stone patterns on the ground, a lot of kind of dead looking items. So those black, dark brown leaf piles and some weeds, another warrior. I swapped out the tops of the frozen pillars for Scorpio lamps. I placed a little stone lion statue up the front because that's what spooks Edmund when he first gets to the White Witch's castle. Here is her sleigh with the gnome, the rebel gnome. I love him. And I forgot to say that I've been cosplaying as the White Witch this whole time. This is why I look this way. But yeah, I do love this little setup, and I can just imagine Edmund chowing down on those popsicles / Turkish delight, and the White Witch getting really cranky with him. Over on the side, this is the main part of the frozen sculpture, stone sculpture area, with all these sad creatures just stuck here. And you can see the castle behind. And then up front here, just showing you how the colors work well together. I did try to stick to a pretty neutral color palette. So blacks, grays, a bit of the gold, a bit of the icy frozen items. Over here, continuation of the sculpture area with another version of David. I thought he didn't stand out enough on the other side, on the left. So here is the big big giant just stuck here. And you know, like, it's just quite an attractive little sculpture, so you can always have two. And I put another stone line behind as another reference to a lion that has been petrified and stuck in her courtyard. That's the sleigh over there with a big bear watching over. And yeah, those are all my bits of design work. So I do hope you enjoyed this. I'd love to see any pictures of castles that you build if you were inspired by this. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Do like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. And this is the face the White Witch will make if you don't. But yeah, have a great day, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.